You can now get Womanies in separate volumes. Get volumes 1, 2, or 3 at your convenience. And get a $297 credit for each one of them toward Womanies Volume 4. Get all 3 volumes by Valentine's Day, and Volume 4 is free. Links in description.
Now, since the show has ended, she's received a lot of backlash about her exploits on the show, not the least of which was eliminating a contestant for suggesting to her that if he found out that she had slept with any of the other guys, that he would take his commitment off the table. Take a look and let's listen to this absolute nonsense. Here we go.
It's like, I've heard people proclaim their faith, but yet they've said things like, yeah, I'm excited for Fantasy Suites. I want to explore this relationship on a sexually intimate level, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And to me, that's like, whoa, what?
Okay, now, he says, I've heard girls say, this is what I'm looking forward to. He's talking about her. He's dancing around this because he's still young and hasn't really come into his own yet. But Luke Parker, who, by the way, was clearly the front runner up until this point, is talking about Hannah because he heard her say these things, and so did other contestants and the audience. She proudly sang out, "It's Fantasy Suite Week," because she couldn't wait to jump into bed with as many dudes as she could. What happened here was Luke's masculine instincts kicked in and said, wait a minute, I'm not trying to wife up a chick who's sleeping with other dudes. It was her that he heard it from, not other people.
Excuse me? There's something I'm missing here. Like, I don't believe that's something that you should be doing. And I just want to make sure you're not going to be, sexually intimate with, the other relationships here.
Okay.
Like, I totally have all the trust in the world for you, but at the same time, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Like, if you told me you're having sex or you had sex with one or multiple of these guys, I'd be wanting to go home.
I'm like kind of mad.
I'm like kind of mad. Gentlemen, what you are about to see and hear is the very definition of what we call in the manosphere rationalization hamster. You're about to see it in spades. Buckle up.
Because, like, the way that you just said that.
The way that you just said that? Dude, Luke put it as gently as humanly possible. He was respectful. His voice was even. He was measured. And he said what he had to say calmly and kindly. But then she wants to say, well, the way you just said that, which clearly shows that it's not about how he said it, it's that he said it. I compare this to all of the LeBron James haters who dogged him out for taking his talents to South Beach and going to Miami to join the Miami Heat back in 2010. They said, well, it's how he did it. No, it's not how he did it. It's that he did it. And the way he did it gave you a reason to act like a jilted lover who was upset that he dumped you for another girl. That's all that is. This is what's going on with Hannah in this regard. Talking about, well, it's how you said it.
It's like, why do you have the right to...
Why do you have the right? Let's see, and again, Luke could not have been any more delicate when he said what he just said. But in typical female fashion, Hannah tries to blame it on his tone by saying, the way you just said that, when in actuality, guys, what Hannah B is here, she's a hit dog. And she does not like the fact that Luke Parker has just hit the bullseye by calling her out on her promiscuous behavior. That's what this is. Let's continue.
That because you're not my husband.
No, you're not my husband. You have no right because you're not my husband. No, he's not your husband, Hannah. And this is the mentality that women in this country endorse. If you're not my husband, you can't have standards. You can't tell me if you're sleeping with other women, I will not marry you. If you're sleeping with other men, or if you're sleeping with other women, you will not get my commitment. This is what feminism has created, guys. Women who honestly believe that men who are thinking about committing to them should not hold them to a sexual standard of temperance, restraint, and discipline, lest they withdraw their consideration for marriage. This is what feminism has created, guys. You're seeing it on your screen right now.
And you're not.
Can I get you off for a second?
No.
Okay.
It's just that you're questioning me, that you're judging me, and feel like you have the right to when you don't at this point.
Sure he does. Sure he does. Sweetheart, you're taking his last name, not the other way around. He's got to bring you home to his family after his family has watched you swap spit with, naked bungee jump with, make out in a sauna with, straddle in a skirt with, and have sex with a bunch of guys for all the world to see. He has every right to judge you because you want his commitment. Yes, he wants yours too, but if you're having sex with other men, then it's clear that you are not committed to him. That's how this works. No, Luke doesn't get a say in what she does with her body sexually. Hannah's, listen, she can do whatever she wants. But he does get a say in how he reacts and subsequently decides based on his judgment of your behavior, Miss Brown.
And I get when you like care for somebody that you don't want to think about somebody being intimate with another person. But guess what? Sex might be a sin out of marriage. Pride is a sin too.
Oh, pride is a sin. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Yes, okay, listen, prideness is a sin, Miss Brown. But men can overlook pridefulness in a woman. Men can overlook a lot of things, really, when looking for a wife. But overt hyper-promiscuity during the process in which you are trying to get a husband is something that men like Luke Parker does not. And making promiscuity equal to pridefulness within the context of courtship is absolutely laughable. When's the last time you heard a woman say, well, I'm not going to marry that guy. He's just too prideful. Get out of here with that.
I feel like this is like a pride thing.
Let's say you've had sex with all these other relationships. All of them. I'm willing to do or work through anything. You're right. I don't have the right to ask you that, but to me...
See that? He says, I'm willing to work through anything. I just said it. We'll cut women breaks all around, except for when it comes to promiscuity.
I just want to know what's going on because...
But you did.
You're right,
and
because of the trust.
You did ask. And the words that you just used were you're willing to work through this. I'm a grown woman and can make my own decisions, and I'm not strapped to a man right now.
Look at the look on her face. I'm not strapped to a man right now. You see the look on her face? You see the smugness? You see the outright, I don't give a damn what you say look on her face? She thinks that's...
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh, wait a minute. That was Siri. She thinks that because she's not strapped to a man that she is free of the consequences that comes with acting promiscuous. This stupid girl thinks that because she's not committed to anyone, that she will be given a full pardon for sleeping with two men on two separate dates, and that Luke should just be all right with that. Clearly, he is not.
Just being real, like...
Yeah, be real.
I can understand a slip-up. But, like, with all of them... I mean, that's kind of where I was going with that. If, like, you were just like, you know what? I want to just have sex with everyone and see what it's like. And, yeah, I would be like, okay. I'm going to talk to you, but you know what? Like, I'm out of here.
So what
But
was that?
if you had, like...
Honestly, like what you're saying, the words that you're saying are just like really not okay.
Yeah, they are, Miss Brown. They are 100% okay. You see, a man has the right to dismiss you if you are unapologetically and enthusiastically promiscuous. Right now, what's happening right now is Hannah doesn't know what just hit her. You can tell that no man has ever told her any of this to her face before. She is completely shell-shocked. She is acting like a hit dog, and she is searching. She is just searching right now.
There's not okay. And the closest thing that I've ever felt to love at first sight was probably with you.
Love at first sight. Guys, there's no such thing as love at first sight. There is lust at first sight, which is what happened when Hannah first laid her eyes on Luke. And it was obvious to everyone in America. I said that Luke was the winner. I said, there's your winner right here. This is the Alpha Chad right here. She gave him the first impression rose, and I think it's like the last 6 guys to get first impression roses, other than, you know, I guess Luke Parker stopped the streak. But until Luke Parker, the last 5 or 6 men to get the first impression rose ended up winning the Bachelorette, which actually proves that women really are. And it's funny, like the last 5 or 6 winners other than Luke got the first impression rose. So based on just first impression, spending a half an hour cocktail party, they already made up their decision. This just proves how arbitrarily women just make decisions at this young age. When they're older, they become a lot more discerning, but when they're 24, 25 years old, yep, first impression rose, that's your winner. Anyway, she gave him the first impression rose, and she damn near had sex with him on more than one occasion, only to be stopped by one of the other contestants when they actually walked in on her. I predicted that this guy was the winner when I first saw him because I could see that he's the best looking guy in the show. I mean, look at him. Look at him, dude. Luke's an attractive guy. He's the kind of guy that girls would throw themselves at. And Hannah was no different. It wasn't love at first sight. It was clearly lust at first sight. And Hannah could not wait for Fantasy Suite Week so she could wrap her legs around him when they're both naked.
And our relationship from the beginning gave me so much hope. And then it was like all this kept happening. And honestly, like, you have already broken my heart through this, like, truly. And I've broken my own heart because I've allowed everything. And to ignore all the red flags for how I feel, to have this and to have you say this about me and make me feel like you would look at me any differently and judge me or make me.
Are you kidding me with this? How the hell could she think that a man could see her the same way if he found out she had sex with multiple dudes before coming to see him? This chick is shaming him for judging her for being promiscuous when there's marriage on the table? I can understand if they were just friends with benefits or maybe trying to figure out where their relationship is headed. But this show is supposed to end in an engagement, which means imminent marriage. This just goes to show that females simply do not value commitment at a young age. They can say they value commitment, but when she shares her body with multiple men during the time she's supposed to be deciding who she's going to get married to and spend the rest of her life with, that says to the world, I don't take this seriously. I don't take my body seriously. I don't take sexual temperance seriously. And this is why Hannah Brown will never be taken seriously by serious men from here on out.
Feel like you would not think of me as a woman of faith like I am, and that we weren't on the same page. And it's like you're holding your no. You're holding other people to a standard that you don't even live by. Maybe because you abstain from sex.
Oh, there it is. There it is. You see what she just tried to do there? She tried to say, you can't expect me to do something you aren't even doing, but Luke wasn't sleeping around when he came to the show. He abstained from sex on purpose to prepare himself for what he thought was a commitment with a woman who shares his values. But when it becomes clear that she clearly does not share his values, she tried to say, okay, I'm a but so are you, which number one isn't the same, because men who sleep around and women who sleep around are two very different entities in and of themselves. And number two, it wasn't true. This is her grasping for straws, trying to find something to rebuttal his trump card. Hannah knew that Luke was completely justified in the way he felt. She knew what he felt and why he felt that way. But because she wants her cake and eat it too, and oh, by the way, doesn't want to look bad on national TV, she gets all crazy and starts pointing the finger at him for something she did. This is called blame shifting. Women do this all the time, and once again, this is on full display.
There's a lot of things that you struggle with, and it's like because I might want to or have had sex, that's like your ex off. Well, like I could have exed you off so many times from being my husband, from things that I want out of a relationship, and that it's just sex for you.
And that it's just sex for you. Listen, yeah, Hannah, it is just about sex for guys, and let me explain what I mean. And she knows this too. I don't have to explain this, but I'm going to say it out loud. We as men, like I said, we will look past or try to work with just about anything when it comes to any given woman's weaknesses, idiosyncrasies, bad habits within the context of an exclusive sexual relationship. We'll learn to deal with procrastination. We'll learn to deal with a girl's quirks. We'll look past all sorts of irritating habits that are otherwise inconsequential to the relationship as a whole. No woman is perfect, and we get that. But we absolutely will not overlook a woman who shares her body with hordes of men. So yes, Miss Brown, it is about sex for men. If we are looking for a relationship, a woman can be a lot of things. A banana gobbler is not one of them.
like, if you've had sex, then I'm going home. It's like, well, I want somebody who can get along with people, who doesn't have pride issues. Like, there's so many things that I don't want out of a husband that you've shown. And so it's like, oh my gosh, like, that's a big, like, you. That's what that is. I feel like I've finally gotten clarity on you. And I do not want you to be my husband.
And that, of course, is how that ended.